Welcome in everyone to the Larsonland podcast. I'm your host Sawyer Hill, and I'm joined by my co-host Dylan Bradshaw. We come on here every single week and talk about all things involving the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion, Young Money Kyle Larson. Dylan, bombshell news today. Kyle Larson, out of nowhere, really, out of nowhere. Kyle Larson going to be competing in the 2024 Indianapolis 500, doing the double, 1,100 miles. Going to run the Indianapolis 500 in 2024, and then go right from there and run the Coke 600. The first driver to do it since Kurt Busch did it a couple years or a while back now. But Dylan, what was your initial reaction to this? Because, dude, I was just blown away.
Yeah, it's crazy. You said out of nowhere. Actually, looking into it, I mean, it was out of nowhere, but it's actually 500 days exactly until the 2024 Indy
Oh
500.
wow.
So, yeah, a little bit of play there, May 26th. So, yeah, 500 days away. That's pretty crazy. But like you said, Kurt Busch, he was the last to run it. I think it was in 2014. Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, Robbie Gordon, and John Andretti are the only drivers to attempt the double duty, making Larson the fifth driver. Robbie Gordon, Tony Stewart, they're the only drivers to attempt it multiple times, which, I mean, I think that's a possibility. I mean, I don't think this will be a one-off type of deal. I think if he goes and he does well, this could be a yearly thing. I mean, he's been interested in it. You can bring up his quote. I mean, he say he's been interested since he was a kid. He's always wanted to run the event. So you can go ahead and read the quote that
Yeah.
he came out with.
Yeah, so Kyle said in the article from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that he's, super excited. Competing at the Indianapolis 500 is a dream of mine and something I've wanted to do for a very long time since I was a child, before I ever began competing in sprint cars. To do it with Aaron McLaren and Mr. Hendrick especially is a dream come true. I'm grateful for the opportunity and really am looking forward to it, even though it's still about a year and a half away. I'm really looking forward to competing in both the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 and maybe getting a win or even two on that day. Dylan, this just gets me so excited. I know it's over a year, like Kyle said in the quote, but man, it's. I know it when I go to Indy in May to watch the 2023 running of the Indianapolis 500. It's going to be all I'm thinking about, man, is 2024 and, Kyle Larson doing laps around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in a HendrickCars.com sponsored Rick Hendrick and Jeff Gordon backed effort with Aaron McLaren. I mean, it's honestly, I know we kind of wanted this to happen in 2023, but I'm glad that it's 2024 now. We're going to wait until 2024 and give this some time because I think they're going to come in fully prepared and be a threat to win the race. Because you look at the team, Aaron McLaren, they, with Pato Award in the 2022 Indianapolis 500, it came down to the wire with Marcus Ericsson. They were dueling it out, and definitely a car that's going to be capable of winning the race.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, it definitely seems like Aaron McLaren's, definitely excited adding him on. You can bring up the Aaron McLaren, Zach Brown. He's kind of in charge of the racing. He said, adding Kyle Larson with a HendrickCars.com partnership to the Indy 500 lineup in 2024 is exciting for our Aero McLaren team as well as for race fans. He's a complete driver, known for racing anything on wheels, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Kyle can do in an NTT IndyCar Series car. It's been great working with Rick Hendrick and Jeff Gordon to pull this together. So big thank you to them for what's to come in May 2024. And I think that's a big thing that we gotta look at. It seems like ever since Jeff Gordon's kind of taken control almost of Hendrick Motorsports, he's really seemed to be like a key piece in kind of expanding. We've seen Hendrick with the 24 hours Le Mans car. They're testing with that car. So it seems like they're kind of branching out and they're really making an effort to expand Hendrick to more than just NASCAR. And they're definitely taking it seriously. It's even cooler that the IndyCar is going to be HendrickCars.com back because, as we know, that's his primary NASCAR sponsor. So it'll be awesome to see that on track. I'm excited to see how that looks. Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. I mean, he's the only Hendrick driver to attempt the double. Now, we did see the news this week with Jimmy Johnson. He revealed he'll be 84 for the season, and that Petty is now a Legacy Motor Club, so he might not be the only Hendrick driver to attempt it. We could see Jimmy. He could do the same thing. He's kind of picking what races he wants to do. He's confirmed for Daytona 500, so it could be Larson and Jimmy running it. Obviously Jimmy's coming off full IndyCar season, so he already has that experience. So Yeah, it's exciting to see.
Right, and to your point, it's Kyle would be the first current Hendrick Motorsports driver to attempt the double, because obviously Jimmy Johnson now with, as you said, his efforts there at the new Legacy Motor Club team, whether you like that name or not, we're gonna leave that up to you guys. But no, I think this is awesome news. I mean, you really when I heard the news break, I couldn't really put it into words how excited I am for this. And obviously, Dylan, we have talked about it on the podcast multiple times. I get pretty animated about it. I wanted to see Kyle Larson in the Indianapolis 500 so bad this year, and 2024 is it can't come soon enough for me. But for anybody out there that I know a lot of fans of NASCAR and fans of Kyle Larson and just racing in general, they kind of look at this and they say, "Oh well, I don't care about the Indy 500, or he shouldn't do this because it's too dangerous, or they're just not interested in general." Um, you know, I went to last year my first Indianapolis 500 to go watch Jimmy Johnson run his first 500. And I really didn't know what to expect. I knew that 300,000, 350,000 people is an insane amount of people being there all at one time, but it's truly a magical moment when you see those cars go around that speedway. And for Kyle Larson to be able to do that next year, it's going to be something for the history books for sure. And to your point, Dylan, before, I think this is not just going to be a one-off type event. I think hopefully Kyle can go out there and win this event in his first attempt. That would be pretty cool. I know somebody on Twitter earlier, I retweeted it on the Larsonland Twitter account, that somebody said, nobody said Kyle Larson could go win in his first time out in a late model, and he went and did that. I think it was actually his second night at Port Royal that he ended up winning. But Kyle Larson, if anybody can do it, it's him, and I'm really just so pumped up for this to take place in 2024.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, we talked about it before, and we were getting pretty into it, of how big it is for the sport of IndyCar because their marketing. It's not the best. I don't watch IndyCar. I know it's not as big as it should be. I mean, it seems like it's great. You always talk about it, but it's really big for growing the sport because like I don't watch it, but now that Larson's going to be in it, I'm definitely going to watch Indy 500. So it's definitely good marketing for them. It's attracting new fans. I believe Tony Stewart, he's the only driver to finish all 1,100 miles in both that and the Coke 600. So, hopefully Larson can get that done. Or no, I think Stewart's the only to get a top 10 and finish both races in the same day. But yeah, man, it's awesome news. Hopefully we'll be there to see it. Who knows? We might be able to pull a double duty as well and kind of hit both of them.
Yeah, that would definitely be awesome for us to be able to go and hit both of the Coke 600 and the Indianapolis 500 in the same day. You know, I was thinking about it this year, like with rumors of Kyle doing the double this year. I mean, I bought tickets last year because I wanted to go see Jimmy. I wanted to go see him run his first 500. Obviously he showed a lot of speed and qualifying, and obviously the result wasn't what we wanted at the end of the race. Hopefully Jimmy goes and does it again this year. Maybe he does the double. I don't know. That's still probably on the table. It gets less and less likely as we get closer to the month of May, but um, yeah, this is for this year. I bought my tickets in anticipation that Kyle Larson was going to run it in 2023. It's kind of you're gambling on it. You wanna be there. You wanna get your tickets and be ready. So when the tickets go on sale for the 2024 Indianapolis 500, we want to see Larsonland represented all across the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We want that place to be packed with Larson fans because we know how big this fan base is, and it's growing. And Kyle's doing a lot of stuff to grow the fan base as well. I mean, expanding out into even more forms of motorsports that he's not involved in currently.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's doing it all. I mean, pavement, dirt. I mean, he has a Rolex 24 win under his belt,
Right.
so he's already done that. He has some experience in that type of atmosphere. So I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll even see him in Formula One day.
Hey.
Hey, we saw him. I think it was what in Abu Dhabi. He was at the end of that race watching it.
Yes.
So,
And
dude,
that's the big thing with, I mean, obviously this is, we don't want to start any rumors or anything crazy, no crazy talk here, but just looking at it from this perspective, if there was an opportunity for somebody like Kyle Larson to go to Formula One, I'm not saying that he wants to do that or if that's even a possibility that's on the table at this point, but if he were to take that path at some point and go do that, being with Arrow McLaren is the right path. I mean, Zach Brown, he is the CEO of McLaren Racing and is in charge of all of the Formula One stuff for McLaren as well. Maybe Kyle Larson gets a Formula One test or something at some point because of this. I don't know. But that relationship with Zach Brown and McLaren is going to be a big one for Kyle. And it's awesome to see that somebody that's involved with open wheel stuff on the Formula One level sees and respects what Kyle does on the track, whether it's in a dirt car or on NASCAR, competing in the Cup Series.
yeah, I mean, they definitely seem excited to bring him on based off the quote we read earlier. I'm still kind of surprised because, owner Roger Penske, he was the one who kind of lobbied for Larson. We talked about this in another podcast. He's the one who lobbied. So when the Larson IndyCar news was brought upon us, we definitely thought that he could get a ride for Penske, which, I mean, surprised that he didn't. It would have definitely been, like I said, a good marketing thing, especially since Penske is in charge of that. So I'm surprised for that, but hey, at least he got a good ride with McLaren. He did say that if he were to do the Indy 500, he wants to be with a good crew. He wants a good team. So he definitely got that.
Yeah, and that's yeah, he's definitely with a good team and a team capable of winning, as I said before. And I think there were rumors this year of, I think we might have talked about it previously on another episode of the podcast, that Dreyer and Ryan Racing, I think it was a rumor. I don't think this was ever official. I think David Land on YouTube, he talked about it a little bit, but apparently Dreyer and Ryan Racing, they offered Kyle Larson to run this year in 2023. Not sure if that's 100% true or not, but with Arrow McLaren, I keep wanting to call it Arrow McLaren SP. It's Arrow McLaren now, but that's a team that can win, and it's going to be a long year and a half now until we get to the month of May in 2024. But you can believe that Larsonland is going to be there on location. We're going to be covering the event as good as we can. Hopefully, we can be there. We'll definitely be there for the race to cover that, but maybe be there for bump day. Hopefully, there is bumping at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the month of May in 2024. I know that adds so much more intensity to the race when you have a field of car, or you have a entry list of cars more than 33, more than that cutoff of, or more than that 33 car field, where you have guys missing the race the weekend prior in qualifying weekend. It's going to be interesting to see, but I know we're all looking forward to it so much, and I hope our excitement for this event kind of rubs off on everybody else, because this is a big time stuff. And Dylan, do you have any other thoughts about this?
Not really. I mean, like I said, 500 days away from today. I'm glad it came out when it did. So, I mean, we have 500 days to plan. If anyone wants to go to it, you have a ton of time to plan in advance. So, hopefully we'll be there. I plan to be there. We'll be on location, getting all the content on location, everything we can do to promote it to you guys for those of you that can't be there. So, yeah, man, it's exciting stuff for sure.
Absolutely. So, thank you everybody for watching today's video. Really exciting news for Kyle Larson and our entire fan base as a whole. I mean, I think I can speak for a majority of the fan base that this is the biggest news we've seen in a long, long time with Kyle and his racing. So, thank you everybody for watching today's video. Subscribe for more Kyle Larson content.